Hey y'all, welcome back to Healing Gardens. My name is Kim, and I am so glad that you're here with me. For those of you that are hanging in there, I really appreciate you. I have been really struggling with my health, and I believe it's all related to heat exhaustion. So, just trying to get that under control and get back on my feet doing videos. I am still doing my markets. I do a market every Friday or Saturday, and then I do a Tuesday night market, and just really enjoying life besides the fatigue and exhaustion and sensitivity to the heat right now. It doesn't help because most days are about 100 degrees here in north central Texas. Today it's a little cooler because we had a good cool front kind of blow through and rained on us. And so I'm real excited to show you what all is growing. If you could look past the grass, I have so much grass growing in places where I don't want it and don't need it. And it just got ahead of me, is all I can say. Behind me is my cucamelon wall, and it goes down this side of the garden about 22 feet, and this side a few feet. And on the other side of that wall, I have some okra that's doing pretty good. So let's just flip this camera around, and I will show you what has been going on. We have lots of bumblebees, lots of red wasps, yellow jackets, honeybees. All the things are in here right now. And we're about ready to harvest some of our spaghetti squash. So Hammy has been a superstar, and we have been waiting and waiting for him to get ready to be harvested. But I think his sisters are going to be harvested first because they're smaller and their vines are actually dried up. So let's get into this tour. So we're just going to start out right here where we are. This is blueberry, and it is very much suffering from the heat, but it will recover and it'll be just fine next year. This is a whole basil pot, and the bumbles don't like it when I get in their way. So if I all of a sudden throw you down and run, that's what it is. Just kidding. So I have Thai, cinnamon, mammoth, and then did I put a sweet potato in there? Yeah, it looks like I did. Got a sweet potato in there. I have tucked in sweet potatoes everywhere because I need a lot of sweet potatoes in my life. You can see, I'll give you a close up of the cucamelons. They are thick, thick, thick. And I need to go through and just harvest and trash most of them because these are the wild ones. And if they are big like that, they aren't any good. So they need to be harvested when they're small. And so I just need to trash those and start over. Here's our herb bed. It's hanging in there. Water has been in short supply over here. So I'm being careful about harvesting. This is our elderberry. I got some new soil, so as soon as this heat breaks, I will repot this into another pot with a full pot of soil. This is a fun little bed. I've got some sweet potatoes, some Swiss chard, and I threw in a fairy tale eggplant, which has been giving me lots and lots of little eggplants. I take them to the market. I either sell them or give them away. And a repeat here. Look at that Genovese basil. It's just so beautiful this year. And our Swiss chard. And I do believe this, if we can get in there, look at that. Sweet, sweet little eggplant. Now these are Hammy's cousin squash. They are very prolific this year, and I'm so thankful because I try not to eat grains, and so that gives me an option, a grain-free option. These squash vines are just absolutely nuts. There's another one. Oops, broke that. Oh well. There's another one. And there's a bit, this is just sweet potatoes. Then we have our comfrey. Oh, I'm so thankful for comfrey. And look at this. This is our asparagus, and I believe next year we will get asparagus. And this is our little pepper plant. Isn't that sweet? I have one pepper plant, so when I do a grilling basket at the market, I always include a pepper. This is another sweet potato pot. And these are some kind of southern pea. Not really sure which one, but it might be a combination of peas. Isn't that nice? Okay, so these are long noodle beans. These have been very prolific, very abundant. I get enough every, I get enough every day for a side or a meal off of these. And there's our grapevines. Do you remember that was just a stick when we planted it? And now it is at the top of the trellis, which is about 4 foot. So that's really exciting. Next year, we'll get grapes. This other herb bed needs a lot of work, a lot of help. The neighbor, the sunchoke, is shading it. So next year, I'm going to do all my herb beds out in the full sun. Look, there's a little spider. I would imagine he's helping to eat the pests. I wish he would eat grasshoppers, but I don't know when to do sunchokes, what to do with them, so I'm going to have to do some research on that. This was a piece of a sunchoke from the grocery store, and it is doing amazing. As you can see in the background, there's all of our cucamelons. And then here is another southern pea bed. It's been struggling, but it's finally coming into its own with the rain we've had, and it's just looking really good. This has been taken over by grass. Okay, here's our green stalk. It is needing a replant. I've been planting a little bit here and there. So I've got some new parsley seed in, and it seems to be doing okay. I cut out all the old strawberries, and except for this Eversweet, and I'm doing some runners there. So we'll get some more plants off those. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. I'm fixing to harvest all that. And then this is our desert willow, and I don't know what she's doing, but she's an old plant that died back and came back, and so she is happy shooting up these stalks and flower stalks. Isn't that pretty? So, and this, I don't know why I planted this tomato in here, but I did. And it's doing great. It's in the middle of all my sweet potato vines. They're climbing the fence and going crazy. I think I have 20 plants in here. This is figgy. Look at that. That was a twig in February, and it is 2.5 foot tall. Now these are all mixed up because our mallow's flopping over into our garlic chives, but they're going to seed again. And then here's our garlic. Here's our mallow. It looks just a hot, dead mess, but I should have got out here and harvested before the rain. So now I have to wait again until it dries. You can see that beautiful flower. Oh, aren't they lovely? I absolutely just, when this plant was in full bloom, it's just so pretty. But now we've got seed heads. And so when the seed heads dry, when the seed heads dry, we'll harvest those. And next year I will be able to plant enough mallow and take it to market and sell. This is our tomato cage with a really vigorous tomato plant. I've probably gotten 50 to 75 tomatoes off this plant so far. And then grasshoppers have to go. And I had planted some noodle beans in here, and they're still doing great. They're climbing this trellis. This one got blown loose last night, probably. Yeah, I would love it if they would cover this whole awning for shade. But yeah, that's our pitiful looking tomato that keeps cranking out tomatoes. I believe it's a porter. Look at these. Now this is a cowpea coming from that pot over there. I don't know why it's climbing, but it is. And can you see this long noodle bean? I don't know how long that is, but I'm saving that one for seed. So over here, we have a tomato plant that is being decimated by hornworm, but I can't find the hornworm. Then we have our sweet potato vines, and we have our lemon basil. Marjoram is doing really well. I haven't been cutting on these right now. My blackberry, I just found out that I'm supposed to cut these canes so that they will branch out. So we'll be doing that soon. See that? That is one long cane, probably 5 feet. And then this, I think, was our raspberry cane. I'm not sure, but it's dead. That's okay. If I grew raspberry by sticking a stick in the ground, I'd be absolutely amazed at myself. All right, we're going to go back around here. This is the back corner of the garden, and I thought, why not plant something back here? And so the okra is just going nuts. I don't know what kind this is. It's a short squatty variety, and I like it. And it's just like all the other okra. You leave it for one day and come out, and it's tough. All right, and there's our garden that is just a wild woolly mess. I have gomphrena, I have grass, I have dill. This is a dill head. I'll be harvesting that today. Where is it? I'll be harvesting that dill head today. Because I don't want it just randomly planting itself in pots. This is Peachy. She's hanging in there, but I've had to give her a little trim again and take some of the load off of her. So I can't wait to do a video on repotting and taking care of her this fall. Here's our oregano. And in here we have yarrow. You can see this grass. Look at this. It's just taken over. There's mint. There's there is lavender in there somewhere. So I'm going to go in and little piece by little piece, I'm going to start pulling this grass out, and then we'll lay down cardboard and some of that hydrofiber. This is, if you bypass the sprinkler setup there, that is my sweet potato bed. Then we have some peas, black-eyed peas, and that pot over there we had noodle beans, but they're just not doing that great. Not great at all. I had cucumbers in here somewhere. They didn't do great, so I pulled them out. That was a sunflower, and it was so big and so huge, I couldn't justify keeping it in the garden because it was smothering out my elderberry. So my elderberry needs help standing up now because it's been in the shade. But there is the elderberry, and that's more important to me than a sunflower. So we have random pots of stuff out here. Look at that. Grass. No, that's not grass. That's lemon basil. I got pecan trees doing really good. I've got marigolds. I'll be harvesting all those seed heads, and I'm going to lay them out in the shed. My amaranth, as soon as it dries out, I'll be harvesting that. I've got, I think that's, is that mint or nettle? Mint. Okay, well, there's another pot of mint I didn't know I had. There's another pot of mint. This pecan tree died. I tried. Then we have Vitex, looking really pitiful. I'm going to trim it back this fall. This is a sweet potato that volunteered somehow. I don't know if I dropped a vine in there or a potato, but it's very happy, and so I'm letting it go. We'll see what happens. Here are all my new plants that I was gifted from a lady on Marketplace, and I was so thrilled that I actually got these. And then, not only that, a sweet family customer of mine at Dorchester came and helped me get them all. So as soon as, you can tell they're looking really good. This is sage. This is something, wormwood maybe. Mint. This needs help, but it'll be okay. And then this is parsley, and look at all these parsley seeds. I won't have to buy parsley for a couple of years. They're looking really good. As soon as they dry out, I am going to be harvesting those and replanting. Comfrey, isn't that beautiful? That one came back really nice. I was surprised. This one is, what is that? Catmint. This is catmint, catnip. That one's doing really well. This is fennel. I'm in the bright sun now, so the camera's not happy. But I also I underplanted with some potatoes. So there you go. We'll see what happens there. It's not the right time of year, I know that. But we're going to give it a go. And this is rue. And I need to find out what to do with that. And that beast is oregano. Now I'm going to be harvesting a lot of this oregano soon. Another little comfrey. This is a pot I planted. It's got my nettle. It's got something else. I've got this coming up in several pots, and I'm not sure, but I think it might be lemon trees. So we'll find out. We'll keep an eye on that. I need to find this something to climb on. Sage is just lovely. So I got 3, 6, 9, 10 pots, and I put them over here and kind of in isolation. I didn't want to take a chance on, you know, getting something in my garden I don't need. Okay, so here is an overview of the front bed that I made. I have 2 beautiful hibiscus sabrotifa. Well, I don't know if they're sabrotifa. They're a Thai type. And I got these from Jennifer in Oklahoma. And these are the only 2 plants that I have living. All the other plants that came up, I thought were hibiscus, actually were 4 o'clocks. So even I can be fooled. Lots of marigolds, lots of zinnias. I cut them all back because they were just struggling in the heat. So we'll see if they flush back. This is let's see. I don't know if it's going to make watermelon, but there it is. We hope it does. And then my pea patch is looking a little sparse. I think they've given up, so I may rip them out and plant some more. I've got okra everywhere. Oh, look, there's a melon. It's kind of misshapen, though. So we'll see what happens there. Happy birthday, little melon. It's not really its birthday because I just now saw it. So this was an herb bed, but I've struggled to keep enough water on it. So we'll see. Okra. This is where I had wanted my okra wall, but I think some of it got mowed down because it's on the outside of the fence. And yeah, that's irises, sweet potato vine. And there's Hammy. I am probably going to harvest my squash that can be harvested in the next video. So Hammy is going to get a full video to himself. Okra, beautiful okra flowers. These are beauty berries, and look at our mullein. It is gone to seed. So I'm soon going to break that stick off, and then I will shake it out in a paper sack and get save the seed off that. And I don't know what this is, honestly. It came home with me from Oklahoma, and I like it. So it gets a nice spot in my garden. Look at this grass. I've got a tomato in there. Haven't really harvested anything off of it yet. But it has fruit. So, and then our okra. And And I'm hoping that this okra will come up about 6 foot. And oh, if anybody needs any fish bait, just let me know, because I got some. And look at that wall of cucamelons and then more okra. And that is it. Got a lot of harvesting to do this morning. And that is the view from the end. There's my little tiny house. And I hope you see more than grass right now, because I don't see the grass. Actually, when I look at the garden, I see all the work, all the plantings, all the harvesting, and it's probably not a great thing, because then I kind of forget about the grass. This beast is at least 8 foot tall now, and it has multiple shoots coming off of its seed head, which I guess is normal. But look at the damage from the grasshoppers. It's awful. Absolutely awful. We got some more mullein down here, and it's coming along nicely. And this pecan tree is coming along nicely, but it's kind of weird. I feel like the growth tip got broken. Pecan tree and some of my thyme. All right, y'all, I'm glistening here. And so I'm going to go get in the house, cool down, and then after I cool down, I'm going to come out and harvest. But hope you appreciated the little tour and update. I hope to get back on my feet full force, 100% in the next week. I've challenged myself to get rid of and use up everything in my freezer that I can possibly can. I have lots of fruit in there, figs and peaches and plums and grapes and greens from the garden that I want to can up. So I'm going to work on that in these next few weeks as well. And I'm going to try to make a video. My house is very dark, and I don't have great lighting, and I don't have windows so in my house yet. So it's kind of challenging to make videos in there. But I'll see what I can do and bring you along for this journey. I appreciate y'all so much, and it's fun to share what I'm doing. Sometimes it's hard to share what I'm doing, because like harvesting, I harvest every day, sometimes twice a day, and it's just hard to bring the camera along because I have to get out here, get everything, and get back in the air conditioning. And like I said, this morning it's only about 80 degrees. Well, I think it's a little hotter now, but I will see you in the next video. Thanks for coming along, and y'all be blessed.